Hello and welcome back to another episode of More Than a Business Live. My name is Mitch Case. I am your host today. I'm also the founder of More Than a Meal, where we help you strengthen your relationships with your employees, clients, and those who other people you want to take care of by showing them gratitude, appreciation, and empathy, one meal at a time. We're coming to you every single Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Time. We are just a little bit late because you know what? Technology is just crazy, and what works one day never works the next. So we're going to shorten this one up a little bit, but I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Clarity Direct Partners. They're a local staffing company that just helps find trustworthy and reliable people to help put on your team to help you succeed. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get our guest introduced. I'm going to let him tell him a little bit more about what it is that he does and the company. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and welcome Regis to the stage. Regis, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mitch, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm doing, dude. We're feeling good about the Chiefs right now, so I'm just constantly running around.
I can see that. I should have known. I should have worn my Steelers jersey.
Hey, listen, I've had a lot of fun watching. You guys got some interesting quarterback decisions to be made here really soon. But thank you so much for coming on the show, Regis. If anybody's tuning in, go ahead and let us know what platform you're listening to, where you're at physically, your location, and if you have any questions for Regis and I as we go through this, shoot them in the comments, and we'll be sure to kind of give you a shout out and see if we can't answer those. If it's math, I got it. If it's anything outside of math, I can't do anything along those lines to help answer those questions. But Regis, tell us a little bit more about Do It Outdoors, and then a little bit about what your role is kind of on a higher level.
Sure. Thanks, man. Well, Do It Outdoors is the country's largest mobile billboard operator. And if you haven't seen a mobile billboard, they're the skinny, funny-looking trucks. We've got them all over the country. And we have a strategy that we put together with a technology that we developed. It's called shadow fencing, so that when you're near one of our mobile billboard trucks, you also get a digital ad display on your mobile device. And it gives us a very unique advantage in advertising, from both a out-of-home advertising, a digital advertising, and engaging advertising aspect. And we've created a very fun and different business over the last 25 plus years doing it. My partner and I, David.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely excited to talk a little bit more about like the intricacies of your business, just around this whole concept of being more than just a business, because you probably have one of the most unique. I did have a cotton candy manufacturer on last week, which was really unique, but you're literally chasing people all day, every day, both from a perspective, and I imagine trying to find your next best talent as well. So I'm excited to kind of dive in, but what we always like to start the show off with is just really an impact story. So something that you have done, maybe your business partner or the company in general has done to have a positive impact on a team member or maybe even a community member.
I'll give you an example on a team member. Our longest employee, from when there were three of us, my partner David and myself, and her name is Diane, and she was there from literally the very beginning, when we had one desk and one phone, and we would pass it around to each other. But
it's a lot more convincing to come, like, please come and work with us.
Yeah. Exactly. If you want to talk to the finance department, here it is. You want to talk to the janitorial service, it's way over here. You know, it's same guy. But we started in a very small way, and Diane was with us. And my partner and I always promised her, if she stayed with us for 20 years, she always said she wanted a Lincoln. And on our 20th anniversary, we bought her a Lincoln Continental, like she wanted for all those years. And she's been so loyal. She's been so fantastic and just so positive all the way around in helping us grow our business from 3 people to over 70 some people right now.
Yeah. That's amazing, just in the general, that her favorite car selection stayed the same over 20 years. That's
right. Well, we never asked really after that. So
okay. He's like, oh man, I didn't want to Lincoln anymore, but I got it. No, I'm kidding. That's really generous, just from like celebrating 20 years, because I mean, as many other people know, like having long-term employees, it can really help just the continuity in the business growing versus the constant turnover. So even having somebody for 20 years is something to brag about, honestly. So
you got to celebrate the milestones, Mitch. You got to celebrate the milestones.
That is a lesson I'm still trying to learn.
Yeah, it takes a little while. It took me to about 50 till I finally learned it and slowed down a little bit. And then you start realizing how fortunate you are, and what you've accomplished, and how many people you care about, and how many people care about you.
Yeah, yeah. I was just talking to somebody the other day, just like the opportunities of getting a new project or a new contract or client not only is going to help that business, but now it provides the funds to go and hire more people, more families that you can support. And that's a really cool, I'd not necessarily looked at it that way. And it was really eye opening to me that that's what
Yeah.
his why was as a business development person was, yeah, sure, I like the accolades and the rewards that come with this, but this is what actually happens when I do my job well. So
Very true.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into Do It Outdoors. The theme of this show is more than a business, and we kind of want to talk about like what truly makes Do It Outdoors more than just trucks driving down the street and having people see your billboard. Like, what is it about the business that is truly just more than?
I'll tell you, it is all about establishing relationships. And since I started and since we started, it turns from a relationship to a partner to a family. And that's with your clients and with your own people that you work with. It really makes a big difference. And we always say around here, I do at least, that everybody works with each other. Nobody works for anybody. And it's a we company, not an I company. And that makes everybody feel important, because in our business, it literally is, it's a chain. And if there's a weak link in the chain, that's where it's going to go south. That's where it's going to go sour. That's where it's going to break. And we do have to treat every single person, from the person that sells the product to the person that puts the operational aspects and logistics on the road, to the actual driver who's driving the unit, and everybody in between. So it's good. And we treat everybody as a big family. It is because it is what you just said about, I always think I'm responsible for all these people and their families, and they're responsible for me and my family. And it's a vice versa aspect. Yeah.
I mean, that's really powerful just on the opposite end, as they're responsible for you and your family. Like that's, I think that's really empowering from a business perspective. And that's really cool. I am curious, like you got people out on the roads. They're probably hard to find, and one probably even harder to get in contact with on the regular. I'm totally making assumptions here, so I could be way wrong on your business. How do you get that family vibe from those that are sitting in the office next, like Diane, just like on the phones right next to you guys sharing that phone, to the driver that's going down some street that probably isn't even going to be in the office at all?
It's all about communication and making sure everybody understands what the objectives are, and everybody adheres to the procedures, and everybody pays attention to each other's job, because that's how important it is. So we've had guys literally on the road for 18 straight years, and stay on the road for 18 straight years, living in hotels from campaign to campaign. And our communication is actually very good. We know where every mobile billboard is every second. We know where every driver is every second. We can tell what's happening with our clients, for our clients, every second. And we've had to do that. Our operations department has been fantastic, providing the best technology to do that. And then it does come down to the old human touch. Pick it up. How we doing? How's everything looking? How you feeling? How's the day? How's the, that, all that kind of thing. Right now we've got about 74 units on the road, I believe, this week, around the country. We're on 48 different college campuses, targeting for an Uber One program. So they're trying to target college kids, and for food discounts, for ride discounts, that kind of thing. So it makes a ton of sense, but you have to think about those kind of things. So you got all those guys and girls on the road. You've got all those hotels. You've got all those per diems. You've got all those mobile billboards that have to be running properly to assure you can activate the program. You've got so many different things that have to fit in place to do it. And before all that, all the logistics to make sure everybody got there. So,
that doesn't account for all the coordination that it takes to make sure people are in the right place at the right time with the right vehicle.
Yeah.
Wow. That is always really, because I mean, we talk about just frontline workers in general, whether that's driving a truck, whether that's a nurse, whether that's somebody in the food industry. It's really, really challenging, because sometimes they're not as part of the family as some people would like to think. So hearing that you guys have such great communication, that you can have 74 trucks on the road and that they feel such a part of that team, at least from my perspective, that's very unique in how you guys have done that.
Thank you.
Definitely some lessons learned. I mean, I love having these shows because so often it does come back to just the pure communication. And sometimes that's not, hey, where you at today? What are you doing? It's, how is that kid's swim meet? How was, I heard you were sick last week. Just wanted to check
Yeah.
in. Like,
How's your mom? How's your wife? Absolutely.
Yeah. And, as a growing business myself, like these are little things that I can be doing better, and enjoy having conversations with successful business owners like yourself and what you guys have done and built. So I appreciate just some of that insight on there. I do like to ask this question though, because I know every day is not sunshine and rainbows where you just get to sit back, talk about the successes, buy Lincolns for whoever and whatever you want.
Yeah.
What keeps you motivated? What keeps you showing up when maybe you only have 20%? Like, how do you give 100% of that 20%?
People relying on you, man. You got people relying on you, whether it's your own family or whether it's all the other people that have grown to be family with you. You got to keep that in mind. And you keep I always call it the 3 Ps, the persistence, the perseverance, and the perspiration always have to be in play to keep that level where it needs to be. And I stay positive, no matter the highs or the lows. My therapist helps me with all that, but I stay positive all the time. I do it.
That's a smart move too.
Yeah, for sure. And it is. It's not always easy, for sure. You know that. You started your own business with More Than a Meal, but it's a tough gig to try to navigate at times.
I don't want to pass over. You said it was the 3 Ps, right?
Right.
Can you repeat those real quick?
Sure. Persistence, perseverance, and perspiration. The perspiration is actual the leather on the road work. The other is the mindset.
I'm going to make sure we cut that little piece there to make sure that other people can hear that 3 Ps, because so much of it is just the hard work you got to do. But I like.
Yeah, my dad always told me, and I remember, and I tell it to my team, I tell it to my son, I tell it to my daughter all the time, is that hard work pays off. Not 90% of the time, not 95% of the time, 100% of the time. If you're willing to do the work, you'll get there if you believe in yourself and continue. Yeah, so that's what I've always done.
Man, those are great little tidbits for anybody that's tuning in here. And I know I'm learning a lot as well as we talk through this. Real quick, I know we're going to have to wrap up here in a little bit, but I was reading a little bit of the origin story, how you and your business partner got started, and it sounded like you guys just 2 buddies in the gym.
With an idea.
How has that dynamic been working with? There's the you never go into business with your friends motto, but every business I've started with somebody that I know, like, and trust, and call a friend. So I'm just kind of curious how you guys have managed that relationship. How do you, as a partnership, growing a large business as you've done, making sure that you guys are keeping each other accountable, making sure that you're doing the right things? I'm curious to kind of hear that story a little bit.
It's a yin and yang story and situation where he knows what I do good and I don't know what he does well. And it's comforting when you never question that the other dude is doing his portion of the work, and you can rely on him. Someone's always got your back. So that's how it's been, because it's not easy at times. Sure, we've gotten into heated arguments over the years, but it always, you realize that we've got a situation where 1 + 1 = 3 versus 1 + 1 = 2. And we've been fortunate with that, very fortunate, and lucky about that.
Well, it sounds like you guys had those 3 Ps from the very beginning, and
you have to.
I love that. Well, Regis, I can't thank you enough for coming on this show. If anybody is tuning in right now or in the future and some of this resonated with them, they want to hear more about Do It Outdoors from a client perspective, or even maybe come on board and work with you from that perspective, what's the best way for them to reach out, learn more, and get a hold of you?
You can check out our website at doitoutdoors.com. You can catch us on LinkedIn. You can catch us on Instagram. You can catch us on Facebook. We're everywhere. We got a very competent marketing team.
They have done well at that. So I'll also echo, if you can't find them, shoot me a message and I'll make sure to get you guys connected there. But what my wife and I like to do with having you on this show, spending that time with us, is through More Than a Meal, we like to gift out a meal to somebody. So whether you have somebody top of mind right now, we would love to hear, something about that person, why you think they might be deserving of such a gift, whether that is due to a loss or a tough time in life, or time to celebrate and recognize. We'd love to hear a little bit about that person as much as you're willing to share.
Yeah, for sure. There's a little guy. He's about 30 years old. His name is Kimi. His real name is Hakeem. He has been coming into our office to clean on Fridays for about 5 or 6 years. But when he was younger, he had a brain tumor, and he works most days at Goodwill. But on Fridays, he's in here cleaning our offices, and he's reliable. He's funny. He isn't the best cleaner, but we love him, and he's part of the family. He's part of the family, and he lives with his grandma. And it would be wonderful to be able to send more than a meal to him and his grandmother. Yeah.
Oh man, I just love the support for someone that is perspiring, working hard to do things, and sometimes don't always get it right, but that's okay as long as the effort was put forth. So
he's faced a lot of challenges in his life, that's for sure.
Yeah, more than I have ever experienced, and hope to not
me as well. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Well, we'll connect offline with that and make sure we can get that out to him and his grandmother. But yeah, definitely look forward to that. Regis, I always kind of like to end the show with just any words of wisdom or advice for anybody else that's out there grinding from a business perspective, or kind of in your world of marketing that's trying to get to that next level. Like, any words of wisdom or advice that you want to give to?
Yeah, I do, actually. You know what? And I've lived my business life and try to live my personal life the same way. Do the right thing. If you do the right thing over and over, if you do the right thing at the right time, at the right place, in the right way, you get the right results. You just do. It just happens that way. You can't go any other direction. So that's my biggest point. I tell my son yesterday, he had a question about, should I do this or should I not do it, Dad? And I said, you already asked the question. You know the answer. Because if you have to ask, you know the answer, right? So there's also a trick question that I ask everybody, and that's what's the secret to overnight success? And if they think about it for a while, they're in one. There's no secret. It's a trick question, buddy. Yes.
There's a quote that I've used many times, is that, I was an overnight success after I busted my butt for 10 years, really hard.
Yeah, right. Do you think Elon Musk just made those rockets overnight? Do you think he just developed all those strategies overnight? Nah, it's not an overnight success for sure.
Yeah. Failure is not failure. It is growth and knowing what not to do the next time. So, Regis, man, I can't thank you enough for popping on and hearing more about Do It Outdoors. Anybody tuning in, really encourage you to go check it out. It is really impressive.
Yeah, we do some very unique campaigns with all kind of brands you can't imagine.
Yeah. For a lot of the, exactly the different scenarios that you just talked about, from Uber Eats to rides to any organizations that really have that kind of direct to consumer approach, I would imagine are great opportunities for you guys. So go and check them out at doitoutdoors.com. Regis, thank you again so much.
It's a pleasure talking to you again, man.
All of those tuning in, we'll be back next Thursday. I do believe that's actually Halloween, so maybe I'll have to get some. I might have to get like a mask or some
costume. Yeah. Hey, check out the Do It Outdoors pet costume contest too. While we're on.
Oh, you got a pet?
And they get some great costumes. Absolutely.
All right, we'll make sure. I need to go check that out now. I got some older dogs that we're probably going to be on the last Halloween with them, so we'll make sure to have a good one. So, thanks again, Regis. We're going to hit the outro, and we'll see you guys all next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you then. See ya. Bye-bye.